Hello, welcome to Digital Citizenship Week 2022. We are so excited to have our guest, Jennifer Brown, who is a program manager with Google for Education. And Jennifer is going to go over some tips, resources, and ways that we can help our students be good digital citizenship or good digital citizens with the help of Google. So we're so happy to have her here today. Make sure you're following along with our hashtag SBCSS Dig22. We'll have a couple of Twitter conversations going, some call to action, some screenshots of what's going on here, and make sure that you also comment, like, retweet. We will also be sending you follow-up recordings of these sessions. So if you are driving and you're not able to see the slides, or there's just something you want to revisit, you'll be able to have access to that. Also, all of the resources that are being shared will be housed in our DigCit Week Wakelet. That's difficult to say. I'm glad I got that out. So you'll be able to refer back to them as needed. So for now, I will go ahead and turn it over to Jennifer Brown.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you for the invite to be here and to talk about this very, very important topic. Folks, I am so glad to be spending this next hour with you. We are going to dig deep into digital citizenship. We're going to get even deeper into Be Internet Awesome, which is Google's solution to having those conversations about digital citizenship in the classroom. Now, I want you to have just a little bit of an idea of who I am, who you're spending the next hour with. As Jessica said, I'm a Google Regional Program Manager, and I support K-12 school districts in the state of California. For my background, I was a tenured classroom teacher. I taught grades 1st, 4th, 5th. I've got my master's in curriculum and instruction. I have my ELL endorsement. So if you're watching and you're in the classroom, I've been in your shoes and I've done this before, and I'm just so excited I can be here in this capacity to help you out today. Little personal background, I'm from the city of Chicago. Even though the districts I cover are in California, I'm out there on a monthly basis, but Chicago, born and raised, and a very proud Latinx woman in technology. We love to have representation, so just a little shout out there as well. So for our agenda and what we're going to be covering today, we've done our introductions. We're going to dive right into talking about what is the digital environment. Then we'll do a program overview, and we're going to have some time for Q&A. So make sure you're using the Q&A feature. If you want to use the chat, Jessica's able to see all of those, and we'll be able to answer your questions in real time. With that, let's get into it. We know, and Google believes, that all students should have an opportunity to meaningfully engage with technical skills of the future. And this is because, and you know this, students today need basic digital literacy skills for them to be successful in any career, in any field. Skills like communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking. You might know them as the 4 C's, right? Those have been around for a little bit now. It's increasingly important to be able to exercise those skills in a digital environment. Now, this is the first time in history that a generation is growing up with constant access to the internet. And according to research this is from UCLA and the iSafe America Foundation, I've got some statistics for you there right on your screen. 79% of kids have their own smartphone, and 86% of kids are using the internet every week. So with that, this new territory comes some new challenges. We know that bullying has been an issue for decades, but when bullying starts taking place online, it can be trickier for an ally to intervene. And according to Common Sense Media, 28% of students have experienced that bullying personally, and 71% of students have witnessed bullying directly. Now, we've got another statistic on here about 0% of online conversations that teachers get invited to, probably. And we say it with tongue in cheek, but we know that teachers and adult allies, we're often not in the online spaces where much of that cyberbullying is taking place, like on social media. Now, what's the role of the educator? As teachers, we recognize that the true value of technology is only realized by having a safe, positive, responsible experience online. But today, most teachers feel that they don't have maybe the resources or the knowledge to teach those digital citizenship skills to their students. According to a recent survey that was conducted by Google with teachers in the United States, 47% of them said online safety, it's not part of their school curriculum. 96% of them said it should be included in the school curriculum. However, 84% of those teachers said they don't have all the resources that they need to teach online safety. And this is why Google, and I'm proud to be a part of this, made the decision to develop a solution to address this gap. We believe that to make the most of the internet, kids need to be prepared to make smart decisions. So what we're talking about today, Be Internet Awesome, this curriculum teaches kids the fundamentals of digital citizenship and safety, so that way they can explore the online world with confidence. We have made, as you can see on your screen, our curriculum available in 9 languages globally. Our intention is to reach as many students as possible. So a little bit about our approach. We take a programmatic approach to tackling digital citizenship from all audiences, as you can see with this graphic. We're here to equip and empower both educators and parents to have these conversations, because if we're truly going to have an impact, it takes a village. Digital citizenship isn't something that any one group can solve alone. So I have a 2-minute video here. Let's see if it's going to work when I click it. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't this time, no worries. You're going to have access to these slides and be able to watch it on your own. Let me see. I think it's opening in its own YouTube tab.
I'm not able to hear sound. I'm not sure if any of our guests are.
No worries. If sound isn't coming through, and thank you, Jessica, for jumping on top of that right away, we can just get right back into the presentation. And I'm going to cover a lot of what was in that video anyway. So we can just move on and y'all can have that in your back pocket to watch on your own. Okay, with that, let's kick it off by talking about the educators. That's who's here, right? That's who we want to chat with. So with that, we're going to start by taking a look at what are the resources and curriculum that are available for educators. So the Be Internet Awesome curriculum is going to give teachers the tools and the methods that they need to teach those digital safety fundamentals. I do like to note that this Be Internet Awesome curriculum is completely self-contained. All the activities are designed to be used with no prior professional development, minimal class prep, thank goodness. There's no special equipment or resources that you need to teach them. Now, additionally, you're going to see that the lessons are reinforced through gameplay with Interland, which is an action-packed, adventurous online game. It makes learning about digital safety and citizenship interactive, and I think just really fun, just like the internet itself, right? Now, rest assured, because if I'm ever saying like Google released a curriculum, I get the question of like, well, who is Google to be releasing curriculum into our schools? Where is your subject matter expertise? This is a collaboration between Google and organizations who are subject matter experts in digital safety. That includes the Net Safety Collaborative, the Internet Keep Safe Coalition, You can see them all here on this slide. And we worked with these experts in digital safety to ensure that every element of the program addresses what families and educators need to know to help teach kids the skills they need to be safe and smart online. So we received the ISTE standards seal of alignment on our curriculum. What that means is that our curriculum aligns with the ISTE standards. Actually, within the curriculum, we call out for each unit which ISTE standards for educators and students are covered. We also call out the AASL learning standards. That's the American Association of School Librarians. We also don't require any personal information or login. I'm going to say this many times, shouting it to the rooftops. Students don't need a Google account to use Be Internet Awesome. Google does not gather any student data. Be Internet Awesome does not have or require any logins, any passwords, any emails, and it can be used across devices. If you are using an iPad, if you are using a Mac, a Windows machine, a Chromebook, it works on any device that has an internet connection and a web browser. So any desktop, laptop, computer, tablet, mobile phone even is ready to help students be internet awesome. And it's free for everybody. So what is Be Internet Awesome? We're going to break it down here, y'all, okay? This is the Internet Code of Awesome that you are seeing here on your screen. There are 5 fundamental topics of digital citizenship and safety that form our Internet Code of Awesome, and you can see them right here. They each have their own color and icon. You've got Share with Care. That covers your digital footprint and responsible communication. We've got Don't Fall for Fake. That's about phishing, scams, credible sources. Secure Your Secrets, all about online security and passwords. It's Cool to Be Kind. That's combating negative online behavior. And when in doubt, talk it out. That's where you get into questionable content and scenarios. You might be asking, all right, you're saying that this is made to be in classrooms. Whose classroom should this be in? This curriculum was created for grades 2 through 6. However, I will say educators with both older and younger students have found value in the lessons, particularly with key vocabulary, class discussions. You can age them up or down, and the gameplay. So we really encourage you to experiment, find out what works best for your learners, whether that means completing the curriculum start to finish, or maybe going deep into 1 or 2 lessons that are really needed by your students. Now, every unit is going to have a list of vocabulary words that appear throughout the lessons, and you can print that list, provide it to your students as a resource. And each lesson title is going to be marked with a symbol, which will indicate the grade level recommendation. It's also going to have a symbol if it's a media literacy lesson or if it's more of a social emotional learning lesson. And we have some links for you to the digital curriculum and to the resources page that will be included in the Wakelet. They'll also be in the speaker notes of this presentation. Let's kind of dig a little bit deeper into these 5 fundamental lessons that make up the Internet Code of Awesome. We're going to kick it off with Share with Care. So teachers and parents understand how digital mistakes, they can hurt feelings, reputations, privacy, but it can be harder to convince a kid that a seemingly harmless post today could be misunderstood tomorrow, let alone in the future and by people they never thought would see it. So the activities in Unit 1, Share with Care, use concrete examples and thought-provoking discussions to teach young learners how to maintain a positive online presence and protect their privacy. So students are going to learn to really create and manage a positive reputation, both online and offline. They're going to learn about respecting privacy boundaries of others, even if it's different from their own, understanding the potential impact of a mismanaged digital footprint, and how to ask an adult for help when they're dealing with a sticky situation. There are 7 lessons in this unit, including an interland unit called Mindful Mountain. All right, don't fall for fake. I even know I have gotten those phishing tests in my email. Jessica, I don't know if they do that for you guys over at SBCSS, but they like to test this every now and then. Are you going to click the link where it looks like it's from someone you know, but it's not really? Yeah, that's not just for adults, y'all. It's important for kids to understand that contacts or content that they encounter online, they're not necessarily true or reliable. And it could involve an effort to trick them or steal their information, their identity, their property. Online scams aim to get an internet user of any age to respond to a fraudulent post or a pitch, sometimes from people pretending to be someone they know. So in this unit, students are going to learn how to understand that what people tell you online, it's not necessarily true. They're going to learn how scams work, why they're a threat, and how to avoid them. And they're going to learn how to determine the validity of information and messages online and be wary of manipulation, unsubstantiated claims, fake offers, or prizes from online scams. Essentially, it's all about steering clear of scammers, fakers, info that doesn't help, and other internet stuff that tries to trick your brain, and learning how to find the good stuff. There are 7 lessons in Unit 2, like pop-ups, catfishing, other scams, and the Interland lesson that goes with it is called Reality River. I'm just leaving you these little teasers of these Interland games. We're going to talk about them a little bit further in, but Reality River goes with Don't Fall for Fake. All right, Unit 3, secure your secrets. Anyone who uses a device that's connected to the internet, a game, a phone, a digital assistant, a computer, they need to know the basics of online privacy and security. Protecting those devices and the personal information on them, all that stuff about you, your family, and your friends, that means thinking about what's incoming and outgoing and being smart about your passwords. So in this unit, we're going to make sure your students learn how to understand why privacy and security matter. How do those things even relate to each other? They're going to learn to practice how to create a strong password and keep it to yourself. You can share it with the adults who watch out for you, but we're not giving our best friend our password. We're also going to talk about reviewing the tools and settings that protect against scams, hackers, and other threats. This unit's a little bit shorter. It's got 4 lessons, including the Interland lesson, Tower of Treasure. Don't these just sound so fun? Like, I just want to go play all of these. It's very cool. That is Unit 3. We've got 2 more to go through. It's cool to be kind. This is less media literacy and more social emotional learning. And this is because the digital world creates new challenges and opportunities for social interaction, both for kids and all the rest of us. Now, I think we all know this. Social cues, they're kind of hard to read online. That constant connecting, it can bring us comfort, can also bring us anxiety. And anonymity can fuel a crush or compliments, but it can also harbor harm to ourselves and others. So it's complicated, but we know that the internet can amplify kindness as well as negativity. And learning to express kindness and empathy and how to respond to negativity and harassment, that is essential for building healthy relationships, reducing bullying, depression, academic struggles, and other problems. Now, we know that research shows that rather than simply telling kids, don't be negative online, there are 2 kinds of teaching that can help address the underlying causes of negative behaviors. That's social emotional learning and bullying prevention. Now, these activities don't replace evidence-based programs. These are meant to lay a great foundation, encourage students to interact positively, and deal with negativity from the start. Think of it as a good companion to whatever social emotional learning curriculum you might be using, like Second Step in your district. So in this unit, students are going to learn to define what being positive means and what does it look like both online and offline. You're going to lead with positivity in your online communications and identify situations where you should consult with a trusted adult. This unit has 6 lessons. Kind Kingdom is the Interland game equivalent for this one. Really cool. And it talks about things like going from negative to nice, talking about your tone, how words can change the whole picture, and noticing your feelings. Now, our final unit, when in doubt, talk it out. I mean, this is not just for kids, y'all. This is for all of us. We know that. When in doubt, talk it out. And it is important that kids understand they are not on their own when they see content online that makes them feel uncomfortable, especially if it looks like they or somebody else could get hurt. So first, they should never hesitate to get help from an adult that they trust. Second, it's good for them to know that they have options. There are different ways to be brave and take action. So in this unit, students are learning to understand what types of situations call for getting help or talking things out with a trusted adult, and consider what options there are for being brave and why bringing an adult into the conversation is so important. So the lessons include topics like going from a bystander to a helper. If you see upsetting stuff, what do you do about it? Handling mean behavior online, when to get help and when to report it. These are all important things. There is not an Interland equivalent game that goes with the unit, so those 7 lessons just go really deep in this curriculum around this topic, which is so important. Now, as you can see, this curriculum, it's pretty meaty. There is a lot that we talk about within these 5 fundamental units. We have so many educator resources that are available to help. So this curriculum is flexibly designed so you can easily make it work in your classroom for your unique group of students. We tried to think of everything that would make it simple for you to implement it into your class. So to complement this curriculum, you're going to find both educator and family resources, like a ready-to-teach Pear Deck slide or printable activities and a family guide and tips for the home. We are particularly excited about our partnership with Pear Deck. They worked with us to create custom interactive presentations and vocabulary flashcards to accompany this curriculum. So students will be able to engage and respond to questions in the lesson from their device. And as the teacher, you'll be able to control the pace of the lesson. You'll be able to view student answers from the Pear Deck teacher dashboard, share completed lessons with students and parents through Google Drive. And the cool thing is, if you haven't used Pear Deck, it's 100% web-based, which means it's device agnostic and it's completely integrated with Google Classroom. Getting started with it couldn't be simpler. You just install the Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on and use the Be Internet Awesome installer to get your slides and flashcard files. You just power it with Pear Deck and you're all set. We do have a link for that. It's going to be going in the Wakelet, also in the speaker notes of this presentation. And we recognize your classroom, you may not have access to one-to-one devices. Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have created printable activities that you can use to bring Interland to life offline, including a fun offline coloring book for those of you with the youngers. So we will share that printable activities link with you as well. Now, on our educator resource page, you're also going to be able to download and print a colorful daily reminder of these 5 foundational lessons of online safety from our, we call them Internauts. It's kind of just like a little fun, you know, get it like astronaut, but it's Interland, so Internauts. We've got 5 posters with 5 quick tips for each pillar of our Internet Code of Awesome to help you be safe, smart, and positive online. For classrooms that have online capabilities, you can also access a proof of internet awesomeness in the form of an official certificate or badge for each lesson for students. So they can get that digital badge or have that certificate as proof of completion. Now, finally, at Google, we are committed to helping educators equip themselves to help their students have a positive and responsible experience offline. That's why we developed the Digital Citizenship and Safety course for educators on our Teacher Center. It's open and free and available in 16 languages in the Google Online Training Center, which is Google for Education's learning platform for teachers, developed by teachers. I know we just went through a lot. One thing that I do want to call out, a question that I often get, I'm anticipating we might get it from this group. People ask, do I have to teach all these units in order? Or do I need to complete them all, or can I kind of cherry pick? This is a flexible curriculum. You do what works for your students. You do not have to go in order. You can move around. They don't necessarily build on each other. They can be a standalone unit, so whatever makes sense for you and your kiddos. All right, we have talked a lot about the curriculum of Be Internet Awesome, but we haven't yet dived into Interland, which is the gaming element of the program. Now, here's the thing, I have a video, but I'm going to skip the video. This is going to be a little assignment for you. Jennifer Brown's giving you some homework. If you want to check out Interland, first of all, you could just Google Interland and start playing immediately. But if you want to watch this fun little video, it'll be an Easter egg for you in the deck. And I'll just kind of explain to you what it is. And I've got some screenshots too. So with Interland, think of it like the companion game to Be Internet Awesome. Kids are able to play their way to being Internet awesome in this online adventure that really puts the key lessons of digital safety into hands-on practice with 4 challenging games. Now, the thought behind the characters, again, they're known as Internauts, was to create characters that didn't isolate any type of person. These Internauts are meant to be an inclusive representation of our kids. Now, here's some cool things about Interland I want you to know. 1, no login required. Hallelujah. For those of you who are teaching those young ones that I'm having flashbacks when I taught first, man, and we were hunting and pecking and it took a while. No login, so it's a breeze. There is no downloading required because the game is web-based. There are quizzes at the end of each world to review key concepts learned, and you can choose to have your students play independently or co-play with family if they have access to internet and a device at home. All right, Mindful Mountain. I told you that this corresponded with Unit 1, Share with Care. So it teaches students to be really intentional with the type of information that they share and who they share that with. You can kind of see a little GIF of it in action with the Internauts. So this is kind of that first level. If you are going in order, it goes with Unit 1. Now, Reality River, this is the one that corresponds with Unit 2, Don't Fall for Fake, and it teaches your students how to spot a phishing scam or online deception in that way. So it's really having them put those skills to the test. Tower of Treasure corresponds with Unit 3, Secure Your Secrets, and it's teaching students how to protect their personal information. It has them outrunning hackers, building strong passwords. It is a great way. I remember doing a unit when we were talking about passwords. This was before Be Internet Awesome came out. I would have loved to have the opportunity for them to practice this. Tower of Treasure is what you'll want to check out for that. And then finally, Kind Kingdom. This one corresponds with Unit 4. It's cool to be kind. It teaches kids how to be a positive digital citizen by spreading love, spreading positivity to those that could use kindness because of cyberbullying. So you can kind of see how that looks right here. I love the Internauts. I just think that they're really cute. I love the design that we did for those. Now, I had mentioned certificates. So here's the deal. Be Internet Awesome. Again, I feel like I've said this so many times, but I think it's important. It doesn't generate or store any personal identifiable information whatsoever. Now, note, that includes save files. The reason for this was very purposeful and intentional. We do not collect student data, and we want this experience to be accessible to everyone. So it's not necessary to have an account, a login, or a password. Please know, because of this, students cannot save their own work on Interland. Okay, it's good to know ahead of time. So we created resources to help celebrate those milestones. That includes printable certificates like you can see here, as well as digital badges that we talked about. All right. I showed you the graphic in the beginning and I said it takes a village. We're hitting all sides here. We've got to think about the parents. This is our final stakeholder whom we have resources available for to support the digital citizenship conversation. That's parents and guardians. Now, we have a variety of resources available to support families with our Be Internet Awesome curriculum. So first and foremost, we have the Be Internet Awesome Family Guide available in both Spanish and English, and it gives families the tools and the resources to learn about online safety and citizenship at home. So we created this guide for families to make it easier to incorporate and practice good digital habits in their everyday lives. It's packed with good stuff. Ways to help you and your kids discuss, learn, think about online safety together. We also have the family tips and activity resource. So for each unit of the Be Internet Awesome Family Guide, you'll find something for really everyone in the family. Tips for safe internet awesomeness that they can discuss as a family, a little exercise that represents a top takeaway from each unit, and games that the whole family can play together. We also have the Be Internet Awesome Pledge that families can sign together. And you can check out the families page on the Be Internet Awesome website to find even more, including a digital well-being family guide. So this is just a quick summary of some of the things that are available, but this is not all of the things. All right. I believe we have reached, yes, the end of the content. We've got our little internaut who says, any questions? Woohoo, we covered so much. So I do want to create the space and open it up in case we had any questions. I think Jessica has some questions for me as well. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. My internet is unstable. So if you cannot hear me, just let me know or kind of, give me some type of clue or cue and I will work around that. But that was awesome, Jennifer. I was keeping up with you, I think, to the best of my ability, trying to throw some of those resources into the Wakelet as we were going. There were a lot. So I just really appreciate how much you're bringing to this event as far as, things for students, gamifying digital citizenship, where they're explicitly learning how to be kind, be brave, be smart, be safe, all of those things, but it's gamified and they're absorbing it as they're playing and having fun. So I love that. And then also resources for families. So amazing. And then everything for educators. I think sometimes we start off and think, oh, this is very important. We know digital citizenship is important, but as educators, it's almost like, where do we start? How do we begin? So I love that Google's just laid it out. Here are these lessons, here are these resources, posters, and ways to get students engaged. So thank you for bringing that to us. How's my internet doing? Am I okay so far?
You're coming through clear as the bell for me. Perfect.
Good. So we did have a question about the lessons. Someone in the chat said, can each of these 5 fundamental lessons be taught in isolation, or do they have to all be taught and then they build upon each other?
These can definitely be taught in isolation. You can go in whatever order makes sense for you. I know some curricula builds on the units build on each other and you have to go in that order, but this was built to be as flexible as possible. And so you can feel free to customize based on the needs of your class.
That's excellent. I remember teaching Interland with my students, and after DigCit week was done, they just wanted to play it. They still wanted to play it. And they were asking
Yeah.
on, those Fridays where they earned some free time that, oh, can we also play that game? Can we play? So they really wanted to keep doing it and keep achieving through the different levels. So I love that it's something that's very exciting for them. So when it comes to resources for other students, so Interland is based 7 to 12-year-old is the target range. You did mention, there are benefits at other grade levels as well, because there's so much to it and so much into it. But are there any suggestions for resources for students that are older than 12 years old or younger than 7?
It's a great question. It's a question that I've gotten before. So at Google, when it comes to resources that Google for Education can provide, we are limited with the Be Internet Awesome curriculum kind of to those grades that we say, grades 2 through 6. Again, adjust, like I did it with first grade and it worked. I just had to tweak a few things here and there that I'm like, I need to kind of change this for their age range. If though you're looking for like high school, if you want to really have those conversations with the older kids, or maybe you want to get even younger, I would recommend looking at some of the subject matter experts that are out there. For example, Common Sense Media. I believe that they're going to be coming up for your Digital Citizenship Week, right? Okay, very exciting. Check out that session. Little plug right there, guys. Common Sense Media has fantastic resources for all ages for digital citizenship. I would also recommend checking out what ISTE has. I believe they also already presented, so check that recording out for Digital Citizenship Week. But they have a lot of great resources that you can dig into for a variety of grade levels. Those are the two places I would start if I felt like Be Internet Awesome wasn't a good match for my students.
Those are perfect. I greatly appreciate it. And I could definitely see first graders, especially some first graders who might be a little more savvy with being able to manipulate technology and understand video games, how to maneuver through, would be able to be successful with those games as well. So thank you for that. So when it comes to teaching digital citizenship, just in general, I like how you had the talk it out. That is very important to teach students to advocate for themselves, to teach them to be able to identify something that doesn't sit right with them and then go to somebody. And that way they're able to get that input and get the adults to be able to help them. But I think as educators, sometimes we just don't know what to say, or we don't know where to go with a question a student is bringing to us. So, we do have some teachers who are really tech savvy, and then we have some other teachers who are just not really sure about how to navigate technology. And, also some educators who might not be as comfortable using technology in the classroom or with their students. So it brings up kind of some issues of equity and issues of that second level digital divide, where we have some students who are getting their technology needs met, and then some students who are not, kind of depending on the way that the teacher feels comfortable with presenting it. So does Google have any type of resources, assistance, or help for teachers who might be feeling uncomfortable with that?
Oh, this is, wow. Great question, Jessica. Such a good and very, very pertinent. This to me brings to mind conversations that we have on my team and that I just hear about in the ed tech space in general about that second level digital divide, right? The readiness of a teacher to provide access and opportunity to use technology in a way that's meaningful and authentic. And this is absolutely an area that Google has recognized as an important need. And so we've had great investment into professional development programs and training to help teachers who might feel like, I'm not ready to provide my students opportunities to really use the tech in a way that's far outside maybe the base digital curriculum, just because they don't have those skills yet. first and foremost, if you are a teacher that maybe is in that camp, I want to remove any type of shame or associated feelings of like not good enough, because we all have strengths in different areas. And once we recognize maybe where an area of opportunity is for us to grow, that's us being strong and being brave in our own way. And if you feel ready to branch out and to really skill up around technology, there are so many resources out there. There is our Teacher Center, which we have a fantastic team. It's led by Jenny Majira. She leads our global education impact team, and her team is made up of folks who have all worked in the education space, whether they have been a teacher in the past, maybe they were a teacher and then became system admin, or they helped create curriculum. These are folks that are subject matter experts, and they put together free training courses for teachers so that way they can level up their skills on using Google Workspace in the classroom and provide those empowering opportunities for our kids to interact with the tech. There are certifications. Like if you feel like I'm going to do this, man, I'm empowered. I want to skill myself up with tech. If you want to go and do it at a level where you get a certification, you can do that. I believe the exam has a fee with it. Now I know it has a fee with it, but there are some ways that you can get testing vouchers for that. You would have your tech department work with your Google rep and we could try to figure something out. I know some PD providers offer vouchers for the test. So let's not have costs be a barrier. We want this to be inclusive. You can explore those level 1 and level 2 certifications. And if you're someone who's maybe newer and making a career transition, let's say you were a classroom teacher and you have now moved to a TOSA position, like a technology TOSA or a coach where you are full-time going to be supporting staff, and you're like, hey, I want to skill up in this area too. We have programs, the Google Certified Trainer Program, that's for people who are really leading and training educators in group settings on Google tools. If you're more in a coach role, we have our newest program that focuses on instructional coaches who work one-to-one with staff on transforming tech integration. It's a 5-step coaching model that they take you through. Think of it like a day in the life of the coach, like identifying and understanding a challenge, investigating and selecting a strategy, implementing that strategy, and then reflecting on the cycle. It is so helpful. I've gotten such great feedback on all of these programs. Would highly recommend people to take a look. But if you're like, whoa, Jennifer, I'm a teacher, remember? I don't have a lot of time. Give me just like the quick down and dirty tips, like what do I need to know? We have a way that we can help you too. There is something called Getting Started with Google that is an 8-week email series that will send to you a bite-sized little training, take you less than 10 minutes to complete, and it'll just give you kind of those ways that you can enhance your day-to-day use of the technology. So to make a long answer short, we got a lot of options for you and we are here to support you. Don't hesitate to, explore the Teacher Center. If you're already connected with your Google rep, reach out to them. They can help you navigate all the variety of options available to you, but we're here to support you on this journey.
And there's such a wide variety of PD available. I mean, you have it from 10 minutes to certified, you have it from free.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and on my end, Jessica is frozen. Hello, my friend. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, you are frozen on my video feed. And there isn't audio either. Let's see.
Yeah, she is stuck, unfortunately. Sorry. We lost that site right now.
That is okay. That's no problem.
She's back.
I'm back.
Wonderful.
I don't know how much you guys were able to hear from you before I lost connection, but I will put the Wakelet link in the chat. So long story short, that's what that said. So a couple more questions. We have districts that use Google who have Chromebooks. Is there tips, resources, anything that we can ask you about how to extend the life of our Chromebooks, or how to teach students to care for their Chromebooks nice?
Great question, Jessica. I'm happy to jump in and talk a bit about that. So for this, there are quite a few resources you can use. I mentioned in my presentation that we have conversation guides built out where the parent or guardian can speak with the student kind of about expectations for using technology and what some of that looks like. It can also be helpful though when they have support from the district. So I know a lot of districts will create like a technology handbook, or they'll create like a sheet of tips for student Chromebook use. And some of the great takeaways that I like to think about are talking with the child. Again, child can be TK through 12. Talk with them about boundaries with things like screen time, boundaries with things like social boundaries, and sharing too much information online. So I know we're thinking of expanding the life of the Chromebook, but also how we use the Chromebook, like in the home and in school. All of that is really important. And kind of talking about the value of that as an asset to our learning. It's kind of like when before you had technology, you needed your pencil, right, to be able to do work in school. It's one of those indispensable tools. And so we have to make sure that we are treating it in a way where we're going to be able to use it for a long time, especially if it's the kind where like you're buying the Chromebook and it's supposed to, last you for years and years. So really setting rules and expectations for the use of that Chromebook, both at home and at school. There's one district, Maine Township High School District 207. They are local to me. I kind of laugh because I worked with them in my capacity as a program manager, but also was a student that went through that district. They have a fantastic kind of guide for parent tips for talking about the use of Chromebooks. I'm going to just throw that quickly in the chat for anyone that wants to check that out. Feel free to take a look at it. I think it's really comprehensive. And if you have any good guides for kind of Chromebook care and feeding, if you will, feel free to throw it in the chat. I love to check those out.
I hope everyone can hear me okay. Sorry, I keep popping in and out. Thank you for sharing that resource. Having, going one-to-one after distance learning or through distance learning. We just have a couple of new things that we haven't faced prior. So it is wonderful to have your expertise and to also have the guide that you shared about how to care for the Chromebooks and really start teaching students how necessary that it is and what a big responsibility having the Chromebook for their education is, and privilege as well.
Yeah,
so I won't push my luck anymore because I keep popping in and out with my internet. I don't have any more questions, but I'll see if anyone has any in the chat. So
yeah, let's check out that chat, see if we have any questions. I'm going to take a peek myself. Okay, I see we had a question from Denise about the Wakelet. Oh, sorry, Jessica. I was going through the chat and just kind of narrating to myself when you cut out.
Perfect. Okay.
I didn't see any questions unless anything came through for you. Yeah, I think we're caught up.
Okay. Well, hopefully my internet stays so that I can tell you guys have a great evening. We appreciate you being here. We greatly appreciate having Jennifer Brown here from Google to share some digital citizenship strategies for students, parents, and us as educators. We really enjoyed having your exciting presentation, as well as the resources that will be found on the Wakelet. And come back tomorrow, we will have Common Sense Media. And on Thursday, we'll have Socially Responsible Online Gaming with Brandon Loudon from StartGG. Continue to follow us on Twitter with the hashtag SBCSSDigCit22, and also check out the Wakelet for resources as we compile them. So thank you again, everyone. Appreciate your time. Thank you for all you're doing to help empower our students to be good digital citizens, and have a great rest of your night. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much.